And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Guys, in today's video we've got two big stories to of course discuss. Keir Starmer and Labour have been put on blast after the cover-up, after the trial of the two alleged Chinese spies collapsed last month, as Labour throw the blame back to the Tories, and the Tories of course putting accountability onto them. But one thing is clear, and I'm not a Tory supporter, the responsibility does lie with Labour. Absolutely. They've changed the story 4 times now, and I'm interested tomorrow what story is going to be coming up with. But as stated, we've got some more reaction as the MI5 have, of course, been drafted in to defend British politicians. We've, of course, seen the courts as well turn on Starmer. It's all blowing up in his face, and Wednesday can't come quick enough. We've, of course, got the illegal immigrant who threatened to kill Nigel Farage. Fayaz, or is that his actual name? Yes, he may have not actually had that name in the first place, but we're going to be discussing that as he has of course been sentenced today. As always, please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more content, and let's get into this video. So as stated, first and foremost, as you can see, the China spy scandal still rumbles on. We're going to be taking a look at this video as this is the sort of latest with regard to this. Of course, Keir Starmer did return back to Parliament today. However, it was only really a statement on the Middle East. They didn't have any time, apparently, to do that today, so we'll be waiting eagerly for Prime Minister's questions tomorrow. But let's have a watch of this.
The news situation, the news environment, so busy. But one of the things I'd like to talk to you about, and I know you're involved in this, is the Chinese spy case, which didn't come to fruition, and we're all trying to get some sort of clarification as to why it didn't come to fruition. The Labour government will say it was nothing to do with us. It was the Crown Prosecution Service which said the case was not strong enough and it wouldn't stand up in court. Now, you don't buy that, do you?
No, not at all, not at all. And the truth is that the Crown Prosecution Service asked the government to provide certain information so that it could proceed with the trial. And the government didn't do that. And we are still desperately trying to find out why that was. We had a statement in the Commons yesterday, which Kemi Badenoch took, and there were no good answers at all. And this increasingly looks like a dreadful cock-up and a cover-up. That the government should have given that information. These two men who've been arrested for spying against MPs, spying in the Houses of Parliament against members of Parliament who were elected by the British public, they have not been able to be brought to trial because the government hasn't cooperated. This is totally unacceptable, and it's the government's got to put this right. The government's got to come clean about why it didn't cooperate and bring that information forward now.
I think this worries people watching and listening to our programme this morning. It certainly worries me, the extent of China's espionage against the UK, and I think to such a degree that MI5 are going to get increasingly involved in protecting people like you and observing. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to do this, but they're going to protect people like you from the Chinese.
I suspect that MI5 have long been doing this, and the government said this yesterday as kind of a brand new thing. But I think this is the sort of thing that's always been happening. It's one of the reasons MI5 are there. And look, the real issue here is that the government has failed to cooperate with the CPS, and it's meant that a criminal case over people who have been spying on behalf of the Chinese government has collapsed. We really need answers on this. The Prime Minister is going to have to come to the House himself and explain. Ultimately, he's responsible. Yesterday, they were trying to pretend that it was all down to the Deputy National Security Advisor, who didn't talk to anyone else, apparently didn't talk to any politicians, didn't talk to the National Security Advisor, Jonathan Powell, who's an old friend of Tony Blair's. Didn't do any of that. He was just acting on his own. This doesn't really seem to stack up at all. It's very, very difficult to imagine that a deputy, in a case so important as this, which touches on the lives of lots of politicians who work behind me, would have been acting alone. So look, we all need answers, and we need, fundamentally, we need reassurance that nothing like this is ever going to happen again.
Speaking about China, what's your reaction to the news that China has now made a formal application to build this super embassy in London? So many of the details in the papers today, but it would be a diplomatic compound, a huge compound next to Tower Bridge. Security experts are concerned because it would essentially provide this dungeon, if you like, that would give Chinese agents access to underground cables that serve the city of London. So that application has gone in. Do you think that plan needs to be rejected?
Yeah, we do. We're against these proposals, and the fact of the matter is, as you just said there have been several independent reports that have said that that this would compromise not just national security but the security of the financial city. And we can't. All of the people from around the world who come and do business in London, come and trade in London, they need to be assured that their information is safe, and it would be potentially be severely compromising to a major part of our economy if this was to go ahead. So we're opposed. We don't understand why the government is dragging its heels over this one. It seems like a pretty clear case.
Later on today, the anti-smacking petition.
So yeah, all eyes tomorrow with regard to that. Of course, Keir Starmer will be sweating furiously to try and combat this. There is going to be hard. I don't understand a way he can get out of it. But of course, he probably just won't give any answers and just try and bury it. But it's something serious, and of course, MI5 are involved, and of course, the Crown Prosecution Service have completely turned on the Labour government. Now, in other news, remember this guy. Of course, he threatened to, of course, kill Nigel Farage, an AK-47 on his face, come from Sweden. However, he has now been sentenced to 5 years in prison. But 8 months according to Nigel Farage, maybe 5 years, but 8 months actually behind bars. Fayez Khan received an 8-month sentence for illegal entry into the UK. Where are the... Oh, okay, so I think 5 years in sort of total. Yeah, jailed for 5 years. So they're saying that he got 8 months for the illegal entry, but 5 years in prison for threatening to kill. Let's see what Nigel Farage had to say upon his sentencing. But there's another twist to this tale, so don't go anywhere.
In 18 months' time, this violent criminal, somebody with 17 convictions in Sweden, in 18 months' time, he will be in this country, living in a house of multiple occupancy or a hotel. He'll be free to walk the streets whilst his asylum claim is being judged. And the only reason we know about this guy is because somebody sent it to me on TikTok. And it makes me wonder, how many other madder passers are there now in this country, or will there be as the boats continue to cross the channel? So I'm pleased with the judgment, but deeply, deeply concerned that this guy will be out free in 18 months. A strange twist at the end, when he was after the sentence, and he was speaking from the dock, trying to be heard, making it perfectly clear that he'd rather go back to Afghanistan. Now, in Germany, there are plane loads of people going back to Afghanistan. I wonder if in 18 months' time, the only thing that stops him being on our streets is we have some kind of deal with Afghanistan. I doubt it, but at least it's a possibility, and the Germans have shown us what they can do. So I've got mixed feelings. It was right to bring this case. I'm happy with the sentence. I'm happy with the win. But I repeat, in 18 months' time, this violent criminal will be free on our streets.
Yep, and that's exactly what it will be. And he makes a very, very good point. How many more of them are out there like that? Because we just don't know. But there was another twist to this case, so to speak, as GB News are reporting that, well, the name that he's got here, Fayez Khan, might not even actually be his real name. Yes, this is some news from a GB News national reporter, as he stated that he may have changed his name due to his criminal record in Sweden. Remember, this guy had lots of criminal convictions.
He certainly wasn't very happy to hear that he was sentenced to 5 years in prison. He told police officers, when they arrested him, he wanted to come to the UK to remove that tattoo of his AK-47 on his face. Well, today he will spend the next few years in prison, at least when he's in the UK, and he was very, very unhappy hearing he was sentenced to 5 years, pleading his innocence and saying he wanted to return to Afghanistan, saying in court that he was Nigel Farage was using him for his own political gain. This was the first time, other than confirming his name, we'd heard Fayez Khan talk in these court proceedings. We also know today, though, that Fayez Khan might not be his real name. The judge saying it was a false name he gave to police officers, border force officers, when they detained him crossing the Channel on Halloween last year, because Fayez Khan said it was to protect him from his enemies. Well, the judge ruled it wasn't to protect him from his enemies, but to protect him from the Swedish justice system. We understand the court was told today he is wanted to serve a 6-month sentence there, but under a different name, Fayez Husseini, where they understand he is 31 years of age. They've rejected his asylum claims there, and he has been convicted 17 times for crimes over a 5-year period between 2019 and 2024. And the High Court judge presiding over this case said that was a significant aggravating factor in this claim. She also ruled that another significant factor in coming up with her 5-year sentence, significantly longer than the normal sentence in this for this sort of crime, was that the threat was made against a member of Parliament, Nigel Farage, the leader of Reform UK, which she said was an extremely serious crime, and Nigel Farage was reacting afterwards as well.
And the only
We've already gone through that, but yeah, as stated, I mean, these people shouldn't be in the country anyway. I'm seeing a lot of people saying, well, he should just be deported anyway. No, because during to our sort of asylum system and the way that the boats come over, he'll just get deported and then just come back over again, change his name. So, of course, he does need to face, sort of prosecution. But the moral of the story as such is that they shouldn't be coming in anyway. But this tit is probably one of many that have his ideologies and have his behaviour within our country. I mean, that's fact. We already see it on a day-to-day basis or a week-to-week basis when we hear of said crimes. But guys, do let me know your thoughts on both of these stories down there in the comment section below. And do you think Starmer's time is running out as the Prime Minister if he is, of course, found out to have made a cock-up and a cover-up with regard to this China spy scandal? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I will see you all in the next one. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Peace.